R-A-M, 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 R-A-M. It's the Ram. Hey, hallelujah! Today on the Ram Show, if you couldn't tell by that lovely, anointed. If you didn't catch that intro, you sure missed a special treat. Holy-filled intro. If you didn't catch that, today we're talking about church, the black church. Black preachers like to they like to do this thing where they want to tell the congregation to turn to their neighbor. Tell you what to say. You don't know them. Especially on Easter. We're already lapped up. You're sitting on my lap. I can't talk to you. Turn to your neighbor and say, I know you're blessed today. Do I know that? And don't let him get beside himself and say a full-on speech. Turn to your neighbor. Say, neighbor. I know the plans I have for you. Because God. What he said. I'm not repeating a paragraph to this young man I don't know. Well, I gotta be a man though. I was in church one day and the pastor kept going back to turn to your neighbor. So he would say, maybe 2 lines, then turn to your neighbor. Then another 2 lines, turn to your neighbor. Eventually, me and my neighbor just looked at each other and kiki. Because there was nothing we could do. We just looked at each other and laughed. Because how many times are you going to tell me to turn to this person? It's just, sometimes it's just overload and it's overboard. Too much. Child. Okay. Homophobia in the black church has to stop. It has to stop. Why? You'll be musicianless. How about that? How about that? I just think it's one of those tricky issues where people use the Bible to their advantage. They say, God says this is it, but God also said don't judge, and then God says this. But I think there's a certain way to go about it, and I think it's become this huge spectacle because everybody knows that gay people exist, and you can't blink and they disappear. Right. So why? And if God is love, if we're preaching that God is love and God is the only one who can judge, then why are you making it your point and your business to judge anyone's lifestyle? I'm not here for anyone being discriminated against, especially in the church. That's supposed to be a place where they can come home and feel safe and worship the God who loves us all the same. Attire. My problem is, yes, it says come as you are, but that does not always mean physicality. It actually means a mental situation. I've seen booty shorts and heels. I've seen the club dress. And the thing is, no judgment. If that's the only thing you had to wear and you came up, thank you for coming. But when I know I've seen you in a suit before, if you need a lap towel, govern yourself accordingly. I don't think there's anything wrong with like jeans to church. Me personally, I don't. I think, you wear jeans, a nice top, maybe some nice flats, maybe a nice heel. I feel like you should be comfortable when you worship. And I think sometimes it can get lost. Comfortable as in I can wear my pajamas? No. For me, everything goes back to tradition. You have to know the reason why you do the things that we do. Yeah, that's true. And that really bothers me. That's true. If you know the reason why we dressed up, because we had no other day to do that. Yeah, that was the only day. That's true. That's the reason why, but then transferred into other things. This really bothers me. When you're leaving out of church, let me tell you why. Do you know why you do that? Excuse me, sorry, pastor. This was used when we were slaves, when we were in church, because the master sat in the balcony, and this was to excuse yourself, and you put your finger up on your way in and you're on your way out to make sure your master know that you are excused. So why are we still doing this? I'm sorry. And you have no idea why you do it. You're only doing it because you saw someone's grandmother, someone else do it. It bothers me. And we don't have no masters no more, so put that finger down. New episodes coming up every Friday. Make sure you like,
comment,
subscribe, and share. And we'll see you next week. We will see you next week with some very, 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 very important,
pertinent information.
time appropriate information. You do not want to miss next week's episode. Rolling.
Child speed.
All right.
When I
She
go to
believes
church, I'm going to meet the king, so I have to look my best. Sorry.
Pay your tithes.
Yeah.
Even if it gotta come in a bag like this, just drop it in the bag. You know, wife beaters in church. I'm not for that. Well, wife beaters the clothes and wife beaters the people. How about don't do that? Okay.
Double entendre.
Clear?
Crystal.